Quarterback School live. Little pre-draft live. What day is it? Tuesday? Sure. Why not? Let's do a little live. It's been a minute. Dropped a little quarterback school rankings video yesterday. It's always exactly what you expect it to be. If you can ever avoid it in your life, go ahead and avoid creating any sort of lists that are incomplete in information, and always fun time of year. But we'll see. I'm excited to get in here. My guy CB checking in. What's good? Appreciate everybody coming into the chat. Hit like, do whatever you do for the channel. I certainly appreciate it. And you know what I normally say in these lives, especially early on, is there is never, really ever, a better time to get a question in, because I'm locked in and make sure I try to get through this chat before it gets a little crazy. But I appreciate everybody saying, "Yo, Kenneth in the house, Lego fan, draft week," right? I haven't been following much of the like actual on location stuff, but it's got to be pretty cool for Green Bay and that whole community to kind of get the what I would imagine is like just a huge show at this point. Totally different than kind of the my experience back in the day, trying to take a nap on the second day because I was so pissed that I hadn't been drafted yet. Evelyn, what's good? I appreciate the love. It's one of those things where this is the time of year for me, draft wise, where we're essentially on to the next, and certainly we'll enjoy the draft, and it's always fun to see these guys get to realize their dreams of playing in the league and where they're going to land, especially for the top guys. But from there, I think the thing that I knew going into it and knew living it, but more so than any when I look at these dudes getting drafted, is this is really just the start. Like, it's a massive process to get here, and certainly needs, I think, deservedly so, should be celebrated at every level. But it's just the beginning. It's a long ass year for these guys. Hopefully long careers, and it's just the start. Appreciate everybody coming in and giving the positive reinforcements of the channel. I certainly enjoy making the stuff. This is that kind of like, as far as the YouTube part of it, a little bit of a lull. We'll come back with probably a more consistent YouTube production of videos here over the next few months until like midsummer. But I'm excited to do some throwback games. Maybe start with some of the best Super Bowls and pick some great playoff games and kind of dive deep into those. Daniel Garcia, which offense would work best for Milroe? I mean, Baltimore. I'm sure Pittsburgh would seem like it would be a good fit for him to be able to go out there and be an athlete. I'll be interested with Milroe. It's just, for me, more than anything else, it will be how fast, how quickly can he improve his capacity to be precise with the ball. Maybe it never happens. Maybe it happens really quickly. Maybe it takes a few years. Maybe he doesn't play immediately. All those things we shall see. Kenneth Watson, how many quarterbacks do you think will be drafted in round one? Bro, I do not think about it like that. Sorry. I would be surprised if there aren't. I don't know what would be the over under. I would say, like, I would be uncomfortable saying 4, but maybe 4. You can talk yourself into 4. Shane, you going to do some 2026 prospects after the draft? Oh, good call. Yes, that is a good call. To be honest with you, I don't even know who they would be off the top of my head. So yeah, if you have recommendations for those guys, I usually do that into the summer. So I guess that's this time of year. That's a good call. I hadn't thought about that. So, but that's more Patreon centric as opposed to like YouTube centric. But yes, you're right on. Will Land just can't help himself. I'm glad you preface it by knowing that my normal comeback line to this type of question is, it's not running back school. But Genty looks dangerous. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Also, kind of just like the Saquon effect, right? Of like revaluing the back. What does that look like? We'll see. Mike. What's up, Michael? Always good, dude. Thanks for checking in. Shane, I appreciate you too. I know. The Patreon community, I say this all the time, but probably this year more than most years, and it's been great the last couple years. But the Patreon community really does make this channel kind of go. And if you dig this channel, I certainly appreciate you and the support. But you're really only getting like a sliver of it over on the YouTube stuff. And so the Patreon community and the peeps that dig that kind of deep dive stuff is what I really like. And that's kind of why this thing is kind of one of the many reasons why it's shifted a little bit more over there as far as specifically in the off season. But I certainly appreciate it. Jordan Lotz, did you see Shucks? Every time I see his name, bro, I have to think about how I'm going to pronounce it. Shucks tape versus Miami. If so, any takeaways from that game? In my opinion, his best game at Louisville. If I didn't share it, I didn't see it. I will say, and this is like one of those things where I just assume people know, but obviously everybody knows the next line I'm going to say about assuming, but I don't have access to every single college football tape. I usually do the quarterbacks I have access to. Now, that wasn't totally honest this year because I didn't do Riley Leonard. I'd done Riley Leonard at Duke a few like summers ago, I feel like, but no, if I didn't share it, I didn't see it. I'm definitely I have no idea how to pronounce your name, bro. Mustanser. Excited to see JJ McCarthy in the preseason. Sure. Hell yeah. It'll be fascinating to see, how the Vikings shake out. It's one of those things where it sure feels like it's got the opportunity for a guy to go in there and be really successful at the quarterback position. Seen a few dudes do it now, and if JJ has the skill set to kind of take them to the next level, it'd be even more exciting for that town, that city, that system. So hell yeah. Steve C, can any issues with Dart's longer pass accuracy be improved? For sure. I mean, not easily, but yes, accurate. I'm a big believer that accuracy can be improved. Now, it's not easy to do, and how easily, we'll see. Probably everybody's their own case study, but it's one of those things where I think you absolutely can become more consistent. You know, the difference between an NFL offense and what they're doing at Ole Miss as far as down the field or like schemed up shots, it will be what I would consider much more matchup centric as opposed to scheme centric, like schemed up shots where you're going to have to take your shots down the field. You're going to get the one-on-one. You're going to have to put it in the correct leverage. You're going to have to throw your guys open. Can any of these guys do that consistently in the league? We're all going to find out together. What we got? 60-ish of our closest friends in here. I appreciate you guys coming in, hitting that like button for this thing. Keep this thing going. Jason, San Diego checking in. Appreciate you. What was one of the ones I saw in here? Michael Carter loving some Justin Fields. Yeah, I know. You're going to have to watch the Jets offense, huh? Who's even calling the plays for the Jets? I don't even know anymore. Randon Salt. I almost said Randon Soft. Is it crazy to think Milroe can be QB2 very easily? Sure. I mean, how many different ways is this going to go sideways or could go sideways for Sanders during the draft? I mean, I can talk my way into a number of different ways it's going kind of spiraling south pretty quickly. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen at 3. If it doesn't happen in New York, it doesn't happen in New Orleans. I don't know. Yeah, hell yeah, Milroe could come off as 2. What else we got here? Shane Paul. What a great question, dude. Is there anything schematically that stuck out on tape for you in college football this year? Do I want to share this? Is the question. what I do, and it's not selfish of me. It's just like one of the things that I do. And I don't know how other people operate in their like computer world, but like I got a bunch of screens in here and they're essentially all just monitors, right? Like I use them to do editing. I use them to, whatever. One of the things that I keep up is kind of an always open document that anything that I like that I think is cool, I just put up and share, or not put up. I just like it's like a living document that I save, maybe once a week, whereas I add something to it, but I don't really pay attention to, and then I'll go back, over the course of maybe after the draft and kind of see if any trends emerge. It's essentially like really, really shitty, loose qualitative research. Anecdotal qualitative research was probably never good, but it's one of those things where I just keep this document, and so it's literally right above my camera, so I can see it right now. Let me put a couple that I have on there that it's not like they're any fucking trade secrets. Things that I really liked. I saw a bunch of cascade shifts, and I've always liked cascade shifts. Cascade shifts to me are one guy will go like it will look like a motion or a shift, and that will start it. And then he'll usually tap somebody on the hip, and that will start another one. So really what you're trying to do with a cascade shift is get the defense to make their check with the motion or the shift, and then have them make another shift. So you can cascade multiple people. It's usually easiest to do just like one and two. So I thought that was cool. I thought this is a play that's been around for a long time, but the influence tunnel screen, where you essentially pull a guard. So think if you run a lot of GT, if you run a lot of GT counter, uh, pulling that guard away from the tunnel. So if we're running tunnel screen to my left, the left guard pulls, everybody else, all four offensive linemen get out to the tunnel, but you've got this influence kind of faux pull. And that was everywhere, everywhere. One of my favorite formations, and I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't live in when I was calling plays at the high school level, was a 0x4 wing. So I love wing slot as just a great formation in general, because wing slot, 2x2 wing slot, because you've got the run strength on one side and the passing strength on the other. And that was how my mind always gravitated towards it. And then as like a change up, I'd go empty, kind of 3x2 wing slot with the back to the wing side split out. But I saw a lot of 0x4 with a wing. I thought that was cool. Or 0x4 with a bunch. And just like different ways. Again, I'm always trying to put myself in the defense coordinator standpoint. How would you line up to that? How would you set the front? How would you set the coverage? Those things kind of jumped off of me. And then there's a bunch of other ones, but those are kind of the top of the list ones for me. Good question, though, dude. Excellent question, Shane. Again, there's a handful of questions in here that I see that are like scheme centric, or like, what would I do at this place or this system? Y'all just got to understand that's just not how I think about these things. And so when I can't give you a good answer. I'm not trying to be a dick or like not talk about your question because I see it, but it's like I don't have any idea, what this quarterback is going to do in this system, or what this system develops their guys, or who's going to fit you here or what. Like, I just don't think about it that way. Luke, what's good? Ben Johnson's former passing game coordinator is calling plays for the Jets this year. Oh, that makes sense. Like the Detroit connection. I don't know who that is. Jay Fry, you got to turn up the mic, homie. You'll be all right. I could probably talk louder too. Appreciate the heads up with the sound though. Evan J. Williams. Are there any positions, probably any position players that you believe maybe impact players outside of Hunter? Sure. Hell yeah. What was the dude that I think I watched some, what's a Penn State's quarterback? Drew Alar, I say it correctly, at some point. Maybe not this draft cycle, maybe in the summer. But that dude, that tight end, 44 maybe? I probably should know his name. I don't. I apologize. That was a dude that I thought, I'm sure he's going to get drafted. You don't have to be a fucking NFL stout to realize that he's a pretty good player. He's fun to watch. There you go, Tyler Warren. That was a dude that kind of stuck in my mind when I was thinking about like, oh, these handful of guys that I And again, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the mock, so I'm assuming he's going really high. But one of those things. Darren, thoughts on Kyle McCord, bro? I didn't realize this was going to ruffle so many people's feathers. I have fucking zero thoughts on Kyle McCord. I can't ever recall a throw that he made. I didn't watch a second of film on him. I don't remember getting a lot of requests to watch him until I put that video out yesterday, and then it was like blasphemy that I didn't include him or didn't watch him. I don't think I have a lot of Syracuse tape. Maybe I could find some Syracuse tape. Maybe I could find some pre-Syracuse film to watch. Maybe I did some. I don't know, but man, it struck a chord, not a minor, but it struck a chord with that video. JM, thoughts on DJ Lagway in Florida this upcoming year? Zero thoughts on Florida. DJ Lagway is a stud. He was a baller. I thought he had a great Elite 11 when I saw him a little while ago. He's another dude that I would kind of put on my mental list of guys that I'd love to take a peek at for the Patreon community. This kind of lull in the season, the kind of summer lull. Oh, that's a good. Hey, Darren, randomly in the chat, y'all do me a favor, because this group probably is a group that would watch those. I want to say they're like Barstool John Gruden videos. Is that the same? Because they popped up on my YouTube feed, but I haven't watched any of them yet, just because I don't want any other people's opinions or how they whatever to impact my own stuff. But now that I've already shared my stuff, I should go back and watch those things. I'm assuming that's just like old school Gruden's like ESPN show, where they get him in a room, get him on a whiteboard, here's some cool stuff. There's probably a bunch of really good nuggets in each of those things. So I'm assuming it's the same as his old school thing. And are there any that are worth watching more so than others? Because I don't think I've seen them pop up as like recommendations on the thumbnail, but I haven't clicked on them yet. Oh, Will Howard getting serious love on there. All right. Maybe I'll go check that out. Do they go over Q Power in the fucking John Gruden, Will Howard video? That would be amazing. That, or we just have a bunch of Will Howard bands up in here. Either way, I'll check it out. I'm not opposed to checking it out if people like it. I'm actually, I don't know if you guys celebrate today, but today is Happy Andor Day. Now, let me just preface this. Okay. I admit, like, you don't have to be a fucking detective here to realize that I've got some nerd qualities about me, right? Like, I've got a library in the house. Like, enjoy reading things that I'm interested in. Great. I've got some other nerd tendencies besides just that. Been a big Star Wars guy for a long time. Not like, I don't necessarily like dress up like it and walk around, but love me some Disneyland. Love me some Star Wars. Don't love all the like Disney spinoffs, but I will tell you straight up that Andor season 1 is one of my favorite Star Wars things of anything. Any movie, any spinoff, anything. I thought it was fucking outstanding, like world class. And Andor 2 coming out today. I'm such a nerd that I got up early this morning. Not necessarily to watch it, but I just got up early and I was like, oh, I'm going to catch an episode before my kids wake up. Little did I know, shit doesn't come out till like 6 o'clock Pacific. So, little bummer. But either way, if you haven't watched Andor, you're fucking welcome. Go watch season 1 and then probably get locked in for season 2 here starting today. Come on Friday. I saw you drop this a few times now. Let me see if there are. Maybe this isn't the same question. So, Rogue One for sure. I'm a big fan of Rogue One too, Jay. That's kind of like, I feel like, adjacent. Come on Friday. What scheme and or coach in NFL makes it easiest for young offensive players to transition quicker to the pace of the game? I don't know. Like, I might take out the end of that question, like to the pace of the game. I think the pace of the game is going to be, regardless, it's going to be faster. I'm not sure one helps you transition faster to that. I think that there are more offensive friendly systems that can help younger quarterbacks play with a more simplified menu than some systems that are a little bit more like Cheesecake Factory as far as like volume of shit that coaches prefer to carry. Some coaches are a little bit have the capacity to thin it down easier than coaches that want to carry, hundreds of plays into every Sunday. Uh, I think the easy answer is like the modern West Coast, the Shanny McVay stuff. I think those guys have the capacity to thin it down and deepen it and widen it as they kind of the quarterback proves that they can handle. And so, wide zone, boots, naked, move the launch point, screen them up, play action shots, staying away from like complex coverage read drop back stuff with multiple hots, those types of things. I think that's where you get in deep shit with young quarterbacks, especially on tough down and distances. There you go. Backup QB whisperer. Is there a non-zero? What the fuck, bro? Is there a non-zero chance Milroe goes in the first? Feels like that would be a bigger surprise than Shador falling out the first. I mean, I think there's a chance that both those guys don't go in the first. I don't think it's a high probability, but I don't think there's any guarantee that teams look at either of those guys and say, yeah, let's roll with those guys playing quarterback this year in the league. I mean, if you draft someone in the first round, I would imagine you expect them to play, maybe not this year, but the following year. And so I think you're rolling the dice a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I said it in the video. Like, I think that there are really things to be really excited about with the explosiveness and the chunk creating capacity of Jalen Milroe. But if you turn on his film, he's fucking late all the time. He's not accurate as the vast majority of anybody who's an NFL quarterback on a roster. He's just not. Doesn't mean as a pro he won't get better really fast. I think he certainly has the capacity to do that. But like, the film is the film too. Casto, the pods. Appreciate it, too. The pods. The pods can make it through this stretch of injuries and keep playing well or find ways to win. Dylan, can Ben Johnson have the same success he had for Jared Goff now calling plays for Caleb? Bro, let me just tell you, I really, really appreciate questions that allow yes, no answers. Yes. Again, appreciate you guys coming in. Hit that like button. Haven't been going very long so far, but I appreciate you guys checking in with the live. I always say I need to do more lives, and it just doesn't happen, but I do enjoy seeing where the questions are from and where everybody's locked into what people are thinking about nowadays. Kyle, would you have faith that Quinn Ewers could get back to where he was pre-injury? Felt like his game against Michigan earlier this year was him at his best. Kyle, do I have faith that he could do it? Yeah, probably not faith. Do I think he could do it? If yeah, do I think he could do it? I think he could do it and more. Again, we're just limited, right? Like, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not his physician. I don't know exactly where he's at. I don't know where his health is. I don't know, does he have the capacity to ever get back to kind of full healthy? And then even his full healthy, is he, locked in enough to make this thing, his craft, his what he does and leans into for the next 10 to 15 years to be all about it all the time? I know I don't make the assumption that everybody loves football as much as I love football or I loved football. I don't make the assumption because I've been in these locker rooms and not everyone is locked in. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying not everybody has the same, not everybody is out there with like a Mamba mentality type thing where you're going to attack a rehab, you're going to attack this. to say that eventually, in aggregate, those things are going to impact you. And when you turn on Quinn Ewer's film, I think I'm as big a fan as damn near anybody who's kind of in a tries to pretend to be in an objective place. That I just, it doesn't look like he's totally healthy. So I would hope that he finds a way to lean into maybe not being on the field for a year or so and going and finding the best version of himself physically. Micah, plans for the channel post draft. I touched on it a little bit earlier in the live, and then I got reminded of some things that I usually like to do. I'm going to do some for the YouTube channel. I'm probably going to do some throwback, like good games, all 22 wise over the last like 20-ish years. Maybe some of my favorite Super Bowls. And then for the Patreon community, probably jump into the 26 projected guys. Just get kind of a wet the whistle, lay the groundwork for the following draft season. What else? There was one. Jack Burton. Are there any quarterbacks that still call their own plays during the no huddle hurry up? Ooh, I mean, I would just be guessing, but I would imagine there are a handful of guys who maybe don't consistently call their own plays in those situations, just because you don't have to, right? Like, you got the coach in your ear who doesn't have to play the next play and can think about what will be the best. But I'm sure that there are certain guys who have the freedom to call whatever they want in 2 minutes. Like, could just imagine being in like a quarterback room with Aaron Rodgers. You're the play caller, and you've never played quarterback, you never called plays before, or you never, like, whatever. I think Todd was his play caller at the end of last year. In a 2-minute situation, you're going to tell Aaron, like, hey, we're going to run whatever, smash cross or branch cross or all go, whatever. And Aaron goes like, I'd rather throw dragon. Yeah, call whatever you want, bro. Like, yeah, you better find a completion. Now, do I think everybody has, that kind of Hall of Fame kind of like stamp of approval in a 2-minute situation? Hell no. But I would be surprised if certain guys don't have the capacity to get to that stuff when they want to, especially in a 2-minute where things are a little bit more certainly simplified, more static, more mirrored, those types of things. Law, you have more books on the shelf. What are they? I've actually always thought about doing, I think I've said this in years past, about doing like a video or maybe a post a week on like one section of each shelf. It's really not that exciting. There's a lot of football. There's a lot of some of my favorite fiction. There's a lot of Civil War stuff. There's a lot of leadership stuff. There's a lot of fundraising stuff. Kind of thing. But yeah, I could do that. Come on, Friday. You're on fire today. Anyone asked this? Would you pay Brock Purdy 55 plus a year? Hey, now, this is a good one. So here's the thing about this lane of conversation, because I'm not dodging the question. The answer is I don't know. My thing about it, and this goes even back to like the Tennessee quarterback fiasco thing with like wanting more money and transferring. My thing about it is these dudes should get every second, every cent that they think that they're worth. So yeah, to a normal person walking around the street, 45 million to 55 million, what's the difference? There's a big ass difference. You got to get every cent that you think you're worth, because you don't know when this thing's going to end. And again, I get it that it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. A lot of people would say, hey, you got to be grateful for that. You play with a bunch of Avengers out there, whatever. All right, that's your opinion. But this dude's trying to get everything he can get for himself and, not put the team like under the bus. So there's a fine line between that. But man, you can't leave $10 million on the table. Get the fuck out of here. And people taking like shots at him. I've seen random things about, oh, he's not worth this or he's not worth that. He's worth exactly what he gets. That's the fucking part that people have a hard time understanding. It doesn't matter that I would pay him 52 and you would pay him 43 and they would, his brother would pay him 65. All that matters is what he gets, and he should negotiate as hard as he possibly can. His team should negotiate as hard as he possibly can to get exactly what he's worth. Same thing for the college dudes. Just because the landscape has changed and you get hurty feelings that this guy transferred or this one running back hit the portal or this guy this guy portaled down, this guy portaled up. Bro, coach has been doing this forever. Ever leaving, gone. Like, it's just until the rules settle out, these guys should get every cent that they are worth at every opportunity. And is it going to go perfect for everyone? No. Are there going to be some mistakes where you don't get the opportunity or the money you think that you deserve? Yeah. That's it. But yeah, Purdy should get every cent that he is worth. And that I would tell that to every quarterback. I tell that to every professional athlete. I tell that to every college athlete. Coach Grays. Boom. Oh, Keegan. Good question. I've been sitting on Keegan. When is the next JT O'Sullivan game analysis coming out? I was going to do one today, actually, for the Patreon community. And I just wanted to do the live instead. Oh, no. Does that thing stay up there forever? So I'll probably do one. I was going to actually just do all the games that I played that year. I played it for the Niners, but I don't have all of them yet. I need to get them. Hold on, I got to take that off the screen. There you go. I probably should do that this offseason too. But yeah, I will do some. And the other thing that Keegan that reminded me of that is I had a friend send me an NFL Europe film video. I was like, oh Jesus, I don't even know if I remember that offense. So that would be a walk down memory lane to see those games. Those games were interesting. Yeah, the backwards hat. It was needed for that one. Plus, my camera autofocus has been bugging me lately, especially with how low I wear my hats nowadays. So, all right, winding down here. I feel like we've talked a decent amount about the draft, about kind of where we're at channel-wise, what we should expect over the next couple years. Oh, is NFL Europe coming back 2.0? That would be cool. That would be cool. Spencer, any quarterbacks in this class that remind you of yourself? No, bro. These guys are all way better. Way better. I will say it's cool, though, that there are, we've essentially, I don't know about replaced, but we've essentially put to the side the old stereotypes or archetypes of like must be 6'5", must throw over the top, must be pocket passer. The size thing has been diminished. The arm angles thing is more important, having multiple arm angles, multiple sockets to throw from than ever before. Back in the day, I used to get chirped at all the time about having a low release, where now the number one pick is going to have a 3/4 release. So pretty cool. All right, y'all. I think that's a wrap. Thanks so much for hanging. Thanks for hitting the like on this thing and check in on the Patreon community. I'll try to come back here and be on the lookout for some YouTube videos of your favorite Super Bowls. Maybe we'll do a post-draft live as well, just to kind of check in, see where everybody landed. Other than that, appreciate y'all, and I'll see you on the other side.